letter. Rest assured, we take your privacy very seriously and we will not distribute or sell your information to anyone.
All right, fantastic. Now we can get back to work. So where am I? Somebody has the oil report. So let's take a look at the oil report. Blah, 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 blah. EIA. EIAIO. July 10th, that sounds like the right one, yes. Inventory, blah, 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 gasoline production increased, distillate, blah, blah. Okay. Oil imports average 5.6 million, which is very low. It decreased by 1.8 million barrels. Look at that. Oil imports average 5.6 million barrels a day, decreased by 1.8 million barrels a day. So they shipped us 10 million less barrels, at least, whatever that number works out to. Total motor gasoline last week average distillate and import, whatever. Okay, fine. Okay, the reserve. Okay, so you understand. So in other words, last week, where do we have imports? It doesn't show because it's net. That's why, because this is a net number. So what they're saying was oil imports averaged 5.6 million barrels a day last week, decreasing 1.8 million barrels per day. Look at that decrease. 1.8 times 7 is a lot. It's like 14. It's it's 12 million barrels, whatever the hell it is for the week. So with 12 million barrels less being imported, we had a where'd the crude oil inventory go? So we had a build-in inventory 7.5 million barrels. That's bogus, right? That's totally bogus. Gasoline went down 3.1. That makes 10 million. That's the same 10 million that we didn't get imported. Where's distillate? Blah, blah, blah. Distillate fuels decreased by 450. So basically, exactly this number. The lower amount of imports are what caused this draw in reserves. It's very simple. Nothing actually changed at all. So it's a BS report. So any reaction to it that's bullish is based on people who just don't understand what's going on in this report. What did other oils do? Okay, other oils are flat. So what we have here is we have a net decrease in crude, right? We have a net decrease in motor gasoline. We have a net decrease in distillate. We have a net increase in other fuels. So that's another thing hidden over there. And the SPR didn't change really much anyway. Production, no change. No change in gasoline. No change in refinery capacity, a little bit more refinery capacity. And the output to refinery is basically flat. So there's nothing going on here. The net's about the same. So don't forget, this is the July 4th. We're still measuring. This is only up to July 10th. We're still measuring the July 4th holiday. This is pathetic. In theory, that's the net effect of everybody in America going out and filling up their gas tank. And that's all it did. Because we didn't go anywhere, we didn't do anything, and now we're back to our normal shut-in routine. So it's not at all encouraging. What's crazy though is that the gasoline was $2.79 last year. Nobody's using it. It's still $2.20. Oil is down from 60 to 40. That's 33%. 33% of 277 is like should be lower than this. We're not getting the bang for our buck here. And they supplied more product, but not much, only a little tiny bit. It's a lot less than last year. Okay, they supplied 2 million, not 8,075. So okay, so that's 2.5 million per day less supplied product than last year. So they're already under supplying us by 14, 17, roughly 17, 18 million barrels a week of undersupply versus last year, yet the entire drawer is 10 million barrels. This is not a healthy market. So, but again, it's dangerous to bet against because you don't know what OPEC's going to do and what they're going to say and what they're going to tell you to bet on. So there's not a pressing reason, but I mean, do I think this is a good short? Sure. When it goes back below 41, it's a good short. If it's above 41, it's not a good short. because there's no premise that really backs up what's happening here. You know, gasoline's getting a little pop, natural gas is taking a nice pop. But we weren't playing these. It's too much uncertainty. And that goes to everything. There's too much uncertainty. Why do I want to play this stuff? It's not fun. I don't enjoy guessing. I'm not a guesser. I'm more like a guy where I believe something is true, and I will play that because I trust my gut. Or I shouldn't say that because I think Trump trusts his gut and Bush trusts his gut. So maybe that's a bad way to put it. But you know what I mean. I mean, it's just, you know, when I see enough information and I get a good feeling about something, I'm going to jump in and make a trade. I have enough information. I'm not one of those people who waits to have all the information or seeks perfect information or needs to know every single thing. There's a certain confluence of evidence that I'm going to act on. And that's what makes me a good CEO. That's what makes me a good consultant. That's what makes me a good trader. It's the same kind of skill set. It's the fact that I can act on limited information, and I'm pretty damn good at using that. Like I know when I do something what my degree of confidence is. Therefore, I know what my downside risk is, and therefore I can judge whether it's prudent to take that risk and make that move. That's the key. A lot of people do the Hamlet thing and they won't act and they wait for perfect information, or every time something new happens, they start trying to consider the implications of that. You know, there's those type of people. That's what Hamlet's about. It's about that type of person. There are people who run gung-ho into things and never think about the consequences. That's not too good either. And I try to be a little bit in between. I mean, my father was my father was a systems analyst. I wouldn't call him a pessimist, but he would look at everything and think about what could go wrong. You know, everything. I was in a car wash once with my dad. We were sitting in one of those automatic car washes when I was a little kid, and they were kind of new. And we're in the middle of the car wash, and my dad says to me, "You know, if this thing breaks, they have no way of getting us out of here." And that's like typical of my dad's view of the world. You know, like he would always be like looking at what could be the flaw in the system. But why? He was a systems analyst. He designed massively complex computer systems back in the old days, and it was his job to make sure nothing went wrong. So he would always be looking at like every line of code, everything he saw. He looked in terms of like, where could this go bad? What could go wrong? Where would it go off the rails? But he taught me a lot. You know, I'm more like my grandfather, his father, and those guys never got along. But my grandpa Max was more of a like, okay, let's get as much, how much do you know? You know this, you know that, you know that. Okay, let's do this then. You know, which I'm much more like. And you know, I've gotten more and more that way as I've aged because I get more confident, I guess. Because my grandfather was, you know, he was 60 when I was born. So I guess I become, as I age, much more confident. And I'm more like him now, I think, than I ever was, because I just, you know, I feel comfortable making a decision. I feel comfortable doing things. And it's the same thing. I know you guys, it's hard, like the Tesla thing. It's hard to roll and say, oh, it's going to work out when you're down $250,000 on a position. It's very hard to say, okay, let's just roll it because it can't possibly go any higher. Meanwhile, it did possibly go higher 3 other times. That sucks. But you got to stick with it, and you got to play. You have to play it the way it's meant to be played, or you shouldn't be playing it. That's the trick. So that's in the short-term portfolio. And see, we're back up to 263 in the short term, which is 363, and the other one was 9 whatever. So yeah, we're back around 13, 1.3 million. And it's still hung up on this. So look how much money we can make. If these two guys go worthless, that's $400,000. This thing could be as big as the long-term portfolio. We only started with $100,000. That's crazy. Now, of course, we were up to $400,000, $500,000 in this portfolio. We've taken a huge hit on this Tesla thing, but we can make it up. Well, in fact, there it is, right? I mean, there it is. We're down. Well, this is new, so we were down a good 150 plus. We're down about 250, I think, still on this position. But we are in a position I'm pretty damn happy with. we were supposed to roll these and we didn't. I forgot why, but for whatever reason, we were going to roll those up to like the 1500s. I would have felt a lot better. In fact, I'd be thrilled because we were supposed to do that. We still could, but now we have the double sell, so I'm not going to. I'm going to leave these where they are for now. But at some point, we were supposed to roll these up to 8 1500s. I remember that. And we didn't do it. I don't remember why. Maybe the price wasn't right, or maybe it fluctuated too much. So these are still the same 5 that we had before. We sold 6 of these guys in 1900s. Now it was a pre-roll. In other words, first we sold the 1900s, but then I set a series of stops on the 1250s. So I said, look, if these things go past 500, 550, 600, we got to dump out of these, and then these become the replacement for those. But as it turned out, because look, these are 204 and these are 185, right? So that makes sense. These are it's an even roll almost. So it's not an even roll though if we don't stop out of these legs. But if they both go down, that's the point. We were allowing for them both to go down, and then we wouldn't have to stop out. And then this guy goes worthless in September, and this guy goes worthless in January, hopefully. And we're all in amazing shape. Then we've gained $400,000. Nothing wrong with that, right? That's what we like to do. But it's a balls out move. But it was a balls out move because this portfolio was up $400,000 and we could afford to take the gamble. But you can't take that kind of gamble when you got a regular portfolio. You have to be, apportionate to what you're taking risk on. So we had because we had $1 million of gains in the long-term and short-term portfolio, we could take a trade that risked losing a couple $100,000 and go for it. Because, and I'll tell you, I mean, look how bad it went. Back in June, we thought Tesla was not going to go past. We didn't think Tesla would go past 1250 back in June. We had no clue that this could possibly happen because it had already done. This is June. It had already recovered this much. It had already come back to the new high. So that was our logic. That's when we sold the puts and did this and bought the things back here. Or I think maybe when it hit 1,000, we thought, oh my God, 1,000? Are you freaking kidding me? Look at what it did since then. It almost went to 2,000. That's just crazy. But crazy things do happen. And like I said this a week ago, I said, look, remember this pattern? This is what happened back in February. It went from freaking a 400 to what? To 800, even though over 800, so more than doubled. Then it calmed down, then it tried again, but then it went back all the way back to where it was. Because it's all nonsense. And this is all nonsense too. It's a freaking car company. The car company with 25 billion in sales. That's not worth more than $25 billion. You don't value a car company at one-time sales because they're not going to make more than 5% on the product. Tesla makes zero. They don't make any money. So it's really insane. I mean, it's a completely insane value, but it's because of all the money that the government is throwing around. They're just tossing money everywhere. Some of it sloshes into the Tesla bucket and overflows it. But there's nothing right about that number. So we try to take advantage of it. Now we fail because we did not think it would go up 60%. If it had gone to 1,200 and stopped, we would have been fine because we expected a 20% move. But it went to 14, then it went to 16. So we had to roll, then we had to roll again. Now the second rolls have worked so far. We can roll 2 more times. We're not even backed up. We're not back. We don't have our backs against the wall yet because we're only in 2021. I still got a whole nother year to roll these things. And this is why I don't worry about it, because I look at the price of the 1250 call in December. So it's a $400 call, right? In September. So all I care about, right in September, all I care about is not the $450 call, it's where it can roll it to. Why are you not working? Oh, there's too many options. But I look ahead to 2022, January, and I say, well, what can I sell for 400 bucks? Whoa, Jesus. You gotta be kidding me. Wow. Okay, so there you go. So $400, we can sell the 2350s. Tesla's at 1,500. January 2022. We can roll this to the, and that's not even splitting them or anything else or doubling down. That's just straight roll, $400, the 2350s. If we want to take a hit of $100, we can roll them up to the 2000s. To 1500 now. We're going to roll it to the 2000s. No, not the 2000s. I'm sorry, the 3000s. My mistake. 3000s. See that? 3000 for 320. So if they're 400 now and these are 320, then we could roll 5 into 7. 7 at 320 is going to be about the same. So basically, we can roll out 5 short calls at 1500 to 5 short calls at 3000. Now, obviously say, oh, well, what if Tesla becomes a $700 billion car company by in 2 years? What if it gains Apple's entire market cap in 2 years? I mean, it's just ridiculous. Could it happen? Yeah, it could happen because we're going to have like, you know, the CPI was 6% this week. 6%. That's like stunning amounts of money, or 0.6, right? 0.6, but annualized 6%. It's 0.6%. That's like stunning amounts of money. That's really dangerously inflationary. Now, a lot of it was due to gasoline, because gasoline went flying higher. Let's take a look at gasoline. Illustrations, please, right? Here's gasoline. Here's days. So what happened this month? Gasoline went from, in June, it happened in June. So gasoline went from 101 to 120. It went up 20%. That's a big deal. And yes, we are still using gasoline. So that hit the CPI very hard. But it was going up from 60 to 120 this whole time, and it didn't hit the CPI very hard. So there's a combination of more people driving, more expensive gasoline prices, CPI went up, but that's also an excuse. A lot of stuff is going up in price. A lot of things are becoming more expensive because resources, the supply chains are breaking down, resources are becoming scarce. There are certain things you just simply can't get. A friend of mine works in the textile industry, and she's at a manufacturing plant, and their plant was making, let's say, 2 million outfits a month, you know, in January, and now they're making 45,000. You know, and not for lack of, they're running low on materials and certain things, which is, you know, difficult when you're a factory that makes dresses and stuff. You need a lot of different materials. You got to have the button people and the lining people and the liner people and the label people and the, you know, it's like so many different things that you have to buy to assemble into a dress. Even a simple thing like a dress is like a lot of pieces. And if you run out of any one of them, you can't make it. So they're down, they made 45,000 instead of 2 million last month. You may as well be shut down. It's like, what's the point of even being open if you're making 45,000 outfits? And they make the kind of stuff that goes like in the malls. So there's obviously a problem there because no one's in the malls and no one's buying stuff. And certainly, you know, you're not going out anywhere. So what are you doing? Why are you, who's out shopping for outfits? So they're getting killed. Their business is getting killed, and so are their suppliers are getting killed. And all over the world, you're not aware of it. These people are going out of business. They're shutting down. You see it on the streets, right? Every day you go down the street, you see another restaurant gives up, another store gives up. They can't take it anymore. There's not enough people. If they have people, they can only open up half their tables. They can never be fully packed. Look at all these movie theaters haven't been able to pay, you haven't been able to do anything for 6 months, 3 months, whatever the hell it is. 4 months. So 4 months, movie theaters have been closed. Regular theaters have been closed. Comedy places have been closed. Bars are closed. Restaurants are closed. On what magic are we going to keep doing this? How is this going to be okay? And I'm not doom and gloom. We're never going to survive, but at some point, this is going to look bad. It's not going to, you can't just keep ignoring it. And obviously today we had the big rally because yesterday they announced that they were making progress on the virus, blah, 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 and they had a vaccine. But the vaccine, if you read the article more carefully, let's do that. Because I said that this morning. I said this rally is silly because here's the article. Oh, I already summarized it. Okay, see, good for me. So 45 people, not invalid, but not really great. 45 people developed antibodies against the virus. That doesn't mean that they're immune to the virus. It means they developed antibodies, and then everybody's like, oh, great, that's what you're supposed to do with a vaccine, is have antibodies. It doesn't mean you're immune. Just like when you get a flu shot, you're not immune to all the flus. You're immune to the flus that they vaccinated you against, and you're only immune for about a year, and then you need another flu shot. So we don't know to what extent this is working. We don't know if it's really a thing. I mean, the only thing they can find out is after they expose you to COVID now and see how those people do when they're out in the wild. That's why the next trial with 30,000 people is going to be in Florida. Florida and Texas, the two worst states, because they want to make sure the people they vaccinate are exposed to a lot of people with the virus. That's how you do a good study, right? If you think about it, that's how you do it with rats, right? You know, if you have an anti-cancer drug, you have to give the rat cancer to test it. You can't just give it to a rat that doesn't have cancer and go, see, no cancer. That's not a test. You got to expose them to the thing that you got. So you know, they need guinea pigs, but you know, you can't ethically do a trial like that. In Russia they can, in China they can, but you can't ethically do a trial like that. So what you do is you get 30,000 people and you do a study, and oh my God, 15,000 people get a placebo. Holy crap, how would you like to get a shot in the arm like this? And it's a placebo, and you're walking around thinking that somehow you're like, you know, a little bit immune to the COVID virus. And meanwhile, all you got was like saline solution injected into your arm. And you got no protection at all, except that you think you got a shot. They won't tell you at all. It's a blind study. They don't even know. The doctor giving it to you doesn't even know if they're giving you saline or regular. So meanwhile, they need guinea pigs. So to ethically have guinea pigs, they don't know who the guinea pigs are. They put you back out in the general population. They don't force you to become infected, but statistically, 30,000 people coming in contact, or 15,000 people who've actually been injected, are going to come in contact with X amount of people, and in the population, they expect 5% of those people, which is quite a large number, which is 500, 600, 750 people out of 15,000 are going to get the virus over a 2 or 3 month period. They know that for a fact. That's statistical, and the size is large enough to have the statistics. So the question is, in the vaccinated group of 750 people who are likely to have the virus, will they find out that it's only 150 people or 50 people that came down with it, and not 750, and maybe the 50 people that come down with it come down with mild cases because they have antibodies? That would be a big win. That would be huge. On the placebo side, they want to see 750 people infected so that they know nothing else changed. In other words, everything else was the same. The placebo people got the 750 virus cases that they expected, while the vaccinated people got far less. That's how you win a virus study. That's starting right. That's not even starting now. It's starting the end of this month. It's going to take them a good 2 months to even get a result. So you're talking about August, September before they get any kind of results. And even if they have it on that size study, and even if the FDA says, okay, let's skip every other step because it's so effective and it seems so good that we're going to skip every other head and run to production, what's the problem then? Well, the problem then is that Moderna, whose symbol I forgot, here you go, Moderna, M-O-D-E, these guys, mRNA. They look impressive. They're having a nice day today. They're a $29 billion company, but in reality, they have $80 million in sales. 60 million. So 60 million last year, down from 135. They don't really have a very good drug. They have this drug. They're burning $600 million in cash in operating expenses. They're taking a loss of $500 million. They've got cash flow of negative $500 million. They borrowed $600 million to keep going. So here you go, 458. They've got cash flows from 50. So they have negative cash flow of $500 million. They're changing cash is 422. They've got 247 left. They're about to go broke. So hopefully somebody's funding them since they got this trial, and somebody will. Somebody's obviously going to give them money and keep them going. But the thing is, they need billions and billions of dollars to make this vaccine and distribute it. Billions and billions and billions of dollars. They don't have it. They're not even close to having it. They haven't even got a whiff of it right now. So what's going to happen? Maybe the government is going to force them to license it out to other companies, and other companies are going to make it for them. Because you can't even negotiate. We don't have time to negotiate this. People are dying. So the vaccine has to get out there. So even if all that happens, now you're talking about the study September, October, the decision to go ahead with it, waiving the FDA, having meetings, blah, blah, blah. So that's November. While we're having an election, all this is going on. Then you're into, now it's December. And what are you doing? Is the government going to fund this? Are we going to give it to Pfizer and Merck and everybody and say, just make the son of a bitch thing as fast as you possibly can? Whatever they decide, it all has to be set up, done, run, and tested again. So you're talking about 2 or 3 months there. So we're March. The same March that they told us was the best case 6 months ago or a year ago when they said a year ago, 6 months ago, when they told us the best case for a vaccine was 18 months away. They told us that in February, March. That's what they said. They said 12 months would be amazing, 18 months most likely. We're still not at amazing. We're only hoping it's going to be amazing. So what is the market getting excited about? It doesn't work that way. That's not how it works. You can't make it work that way. There's nothing you can do other than just the Donald Trump solution is just say, go ahead and drink the bleach. We didn't test it or nothing, but it sounds good, so let's drink the bleach because bleach kills viruses. Bleach kills viruses. Viruses are inside you. Drink the bleach. It's very simple. Yeah, it's like, oh my God, it's crazy. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the economy. So there you go. So I'm a little bit worried about the economy because we all might die. Other than that, all's good. All right. Can you check the roll report? We checked the roll report. That was garbage. Bernie says Tesla rumors that it will get into the S&P. Do you think this is reasonable, and how would it affect the stock? I think it will negatively. I think that super high growth is going to be harder to obtain if they're in the S&P because they're going to be stuck with the index to some extent. I think their float is too small for the S&P. I don't think the S&P would want them in the S&P because their float is so small, and they're massively manipulated, and they have a market cap bubble that's going to pop. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think the rumor of them going into the S&P is what has people buying it like that. But on the other hand, though, the S&P, I mean, I don't know if the S&P can keep them out because it's a rule. So inclusion in the S&P is based on your market cap, right? So if they sustain their market cap, let's see. How do you qualify for S&P 500? It's not like a club that you can't get into. You must be a U.S. company. Your market cap must be 5.3 billion. Your float must consist of 50% of the outstanding shares. Fail. It must have positive earnings for the most recent quarter, as well as the 4 most recent quarters. So therefore, Tesla is not going into the S&P. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. All right. See, not complicated. Instead of passing on rumors, we ask a simple question: is this even real? No, it's not. It's not real. They fail on many counts. So that's where that is. Debt clock. Why am I here? Oh yeah. Well, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Wow. Okay, all right, forget it. I can't even look at this. Wow. Okay, and here we go. Federal tax revenue. Where's my money going? What's going on here? It's July and it's going backwards very, very fast. Way fast. States. Look at the 4 states, even faster. Let's see who ticks back first. 484645. Nope, federal's going down faster. Okay. Wow, local taxes. Oh no, that's not so bad though, because you know why? It's property taxes. It's not really income based, so they're not getting hit as hard, but they're still losing money. Corporate taxes. 4, 3, 2, 1. I think it'll hit 0 this year. I think we can get to 0. I think that's pretty attainable. Payroll tax backwards. 4, 3, 2. Yep. Income tax. Oh wow. Damn, that's fast. What income? Wow. Here, this one's going up. Oh, debt. Oh. Darn it. Credit card debt. 180, 190. Oh, it's going backwards. Look, credit card debt's going down. That's a good thing. Student loan debt. Ooh, what happened? 7, 8. Nope. Student loan debt's going up, which I can tell you for my 2 children. Really horrifying. Well, they don't have debt. Thank God I got a college fund, but oh my God. Debt held by countries, that's going up. So we were apparently selling more debt to foreign countries, even though, well, it has to come from somewhere, I guess. Trade deficit going down. Okay. Not that's a good thing. Who cares? Trade deficit with China going down. I thought Trump said he fixed that. Look at that. Well, down is fixed, actually. I'm sorry, that's our deficit. So he did fix it. Look at it, it's going down. And imported oil, look what's going on there. We're exporting. Down, down, down. See, it's like a nice thermometer for the country. It tells you what's going on. If only we could have that on our iPhone for ourselves. Like if you have an iWatch, you should be able to see all this about your body. Find out what's going on at any given moment. And the virus. Another sad thing. Okay. Oh, I remember I said if we're under 3.5 million, we're not in such bad shape. So let's see what happens. That was my number. Wow, how do we go from 3.1? That's 6.3. Really? No. What the hell is 3.1? That can't have been the world at 6.3. Here's 6.10, 7.7. No, there's something else. What was that? All right, well, we'll ignore that and move it over here. And we're going to refresh it so we have an update. Oh, not quite 3.5. Wow. I am so proud of you and you and you and you and you. You guys have done it. Go team. 50,000 people. Well, the day's not over, frankly, but 50,000 people less than I predicted a week ago have the virus. So that's good. In the US, of course, as we know, Trump stopped testing because testing causes virus. But either way, it's still we're not so horrible as we should have been by 50,000. Even though California went back on lockdown, Florida got a lot of restrictions and put things on. So a lot of people changed their tune last week that prevented us from hitting 3.5. Although obviously, if we tested people, we'd be over 3.5. But the victory is a victory. Let's give it to Trump. So, very nicely done. We only have 3.45, not 3.5 million infected people in the United States. So I think that is fantastic. Globally, we're up 11.8 to 3.3 is only 1.5, right? So only 10% change globally. And the US is only up 450-ish. So let's say 450 divided by 3,123. No, 3,000. 15%. So we're only growing our virus 50% faster than the rest of the world. That's it. We should be very proud. I think it's a good team effort. I'm very proud of all of you guys. As you can tell, I got like a little bit of a cold right now, which of course freaks me out, but I'm fine. The question is, where did I get the cold? I did go out. I got a cold. Shouldn't go out. I feel all right otherwise. I just have a sniffly nose, and I don't think it's allergies. I think I have a cold. So if I'm dead next week, you'll know why. But I think I'll be okay. Anyway, let's see. So Tesla, S&P, blah, blah, blah. Okay, no problem. So what else? All right. Positions. Positions. We've got did a long-term portfolio review. I'm not going to spend much time on that. It's obviously, you know, we're up 80% for the year. I mean, yeah, it's only July 15th. So maybe we should call a victory. You know, and again, every week, I know I do this every week. I do it every month. I do it every week. I want to get out of this thing. I want to quit. I want to take a break. I want to relax. This is just, it's too difficult trying to like balance this stuff when you're so far ahead. When you have nothing to lose, it's fine. But when you're way ahead and you have to protect a massive gain from damage, it makes it much less fun to trade. We're not, you know, we're not picking up things anymore like we used to. And it's because we had all that fun. We had it in a very condensed amount of time. And the problem is that while we were making tons of moves, this is a portfolio we only started like in late December. While we were making all these moves and while we were doing all this stuff and while we went back and forth and adjusted and changed positions and so on and so forth that we did, great. But all that time, the virus was happening. Trump was being impeached. It was like total chaos. And this was the least of our things that we were thinking about at the time. We were just like, you know, saying, okay, well, while this is happening, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this. Great. But we did our year's worth of moves. I mean, we really literally have nothing to do right now because it's just so, again, well balanced. Everything's good now. We've got it perfect or almost perfect. I hate to pull the thread and take a position off because they're all really well. They're functioning fantastically. You know, Freeport, happy to buy it. IBM, happy to buy it. Intel, happy to buy it. Coffee futures, well, you know, futures, that's a gamble. Coca-Cola, happy to buy it. Micron, happy to buy it. Notice the lack of redundancy in the picks. Notice the diversification of the picks. That's another reason why we're very balanced. Mylan, good. STZ is good. Tiffany, good. Plains Pipeline, fine. Broadcom, fine. Berkshire, fine. Caterpillar, fine. Cisco, fine. FL, fine. Where are we? Gilead, fine. Now notice the diversification here. GM, fine. I don't think I'm naming things that are twice in the same category, really. Harmony's a gold miner. We don't have gold in here. Isn't that funny? I think we cashed it out or something. We don't have gold. We don't have a trade of the year in the long-term portfolio. That's interesting. IMAX is one I'm worried about. Obviously, they're doing badly. We've already adjusted them, and they're not going to come back by December. They're not. They're not. For what? We can't even cure the virus by December. How are they going to come back? So, as I mentioned, though, it's like I think I'd rather stick with IMAX, go for a longer position, and just one day they'll recover and make a lot of money. So, and again, only because given the context of a portfolio where we've made a tremendous amount of money, so what if we lose $10,000, $20,000 on IMAX? We can ride that out because we've got $600,000 in profits otherwise. So yeah, who cares? Or 400,000 profits. So then we got labor, the biotech, of course, Macy's, Middleby, the marijuana ETF, more diversification, 3M, Philip Morris, Restoration Hardware, we talked about, SKT, I like them, the mall operator. These two mall operators, oh my God, we got two things in the same sector. SunPower. Textron, of course, is great. Viacom is great. See, we're still finding new things, right? Even this far down the portfolio, we're still coming into brand new categories. Viacom, Valero. We don't have an oil company. We don't have a drug company. All of a sudden, we got all this stuff, right? We have a drug company, but we don't have a drug retailer, a pharmacy. All the walks of the economy are being covered here. And we've stayed away from what don't we have? We don't have consumer retail. We don't have any stores. We have the mall, but we don't have the stores that are in the mall. We don't have service companies because people can't service things. Like you can't, it's hard to get people to come and do house things and stuff like that. You're not going to see your financial advisor. You're not sitting down with the brokers. How do they sell to you if they can't talk to you? There are all these brokerages and things like that. They can only call you on the phone and ask you to switch, and everybody hates that. So that's a problem for them. They don't have any in-person ability to deal with customers at all now. Nobody's going to let the broker from Merrill Lynch come into your house to talk to you about why you should switch to his retirement plans. Like, get out of here, you infected bastard. That's kind of the attitude now for people. So it's making the job of salesman much, much harder, right? It's like now you gotta, how are you gonna do anything? That's why I got a cold. I shook somebody's hand yesterday. Son of a bitch. I had a meeting and I shook the guy's hand. I knew I should have done that. Anyway, oh, that's just a comment. How did the 2015 measles outbreak affect them? This is not the same thing at all. I don't know if you have that. Maybe that says something about it. That's interesting. So we'll look at that. But all this crazy stuff going on. So other portfolios. Let's talk about that. Given the lack of questions, I will talk about the other portfolios. Client. I am a client. I will log in. Oh, that was easy. So the Dow's up 162 at the moment. So the short-term portfolio also doing great, very well protected. There was nothing to do here either. We just looked at this portfolio the other day, yesterday, I think. There's nothing to change. We're all good. These are powerful, powerful hedges to protect our very large long-term portfolio, but still doesn't mean I want to ride them out. Butterfly portfolio, 40%. That's down a lot. I think it was more like 80% one time. Now, I don't know why. We're gonna have to do a proper review on that. Here's these apples that are expired. Oh no, those are long apples, so don't worry about those. None of these, these two guys are expiring, the Disney's. So how are these working out? We sold them for $575 and we're paying back $564. Wasn't ideal, but we didn't lose money, right? And meanwhile, our position is still right in the on the top. So you don't have to win every time when you do your target, because now we're gonna make a strangle basically of the 120s, right? So eventually, if we do win, we get a huge bonus. But even when we're off by quite a bit, in other words, when we picked this, we sold these for $3 and they went to $563. But fortunately, we sold both sides. Can't lose on both sides. And we got 3 plus 275 is 575. As long as the deviation isn't more than 575 above that, which we're not, then we win. Coca-Cola also has July's. Now in Coca-Cola's case, 47.50 puts and calls. That was our target. We sold them for $3.45, and look what we're paying back, only $1. So here we made ourselves $1,200, $12.50, let's say. Now, what did we pay for this Coca-Cola position? Well, we paid 93 minus 4 is 53, minus 7 is 53 is 46, minus 1,000 is 56. So $5,600 we paid for the total position, and we made $1,300. Not forget the position, doesn't matter. We made $1,300. With that, we sold these in May, and now it's July, and we made $1,300 against $5,000. That's why the butterfly portfolio is what we're doing in our new hedge fund. That's really powerful. I mean, that's what do we say? $1,300 against 56. So for this 2-month period, 13 divided by 56, 23%. We made 23% doing that. Now we made 0 on Disney. We just said that, right? We made 0 on Disney. We did make positive money on the stock, but we made 0 on the actual on the short hedges. Where else are we? Mondelez has a July, so we have to see. We got a lot of things we got to change here. But here, Mondelez, we sold this call. We sold it for 135. We're buying it back for 84. That's how we make our money. Here's the MJ ETF. we have a 60 and 60-20 bull call spread, and we sold some July 12 calls. These July 12 calls are burning us, but we're just going to roll them along, and one day we'll get a hit. But if they're burning us, it means that these guys are in the money, right? So these guys are up $13,000 while we lose $1,650. So that's okay. Not really 13 because you got to subtract that. But actually, I'm sorry, you don't have to subtract that. These are up $13,000. These are inconsequential. They're out of the money. This is a $20. I'm sorry, it's a put. Forget that. So yeah, I thought that was a short call. We don't have any cover on these really. We just have this forward cover. These are puts. So this is a separate item from the rest of the trade. But even so, 13 minus 5, we're still at like, 8. So basically $8,000 here, minus $1,650 here, and we've got a huge profit on this trade. So sometimes we're going to get lucky, sometimes we won't with our target, but when we get lucky, we make a lot of money, a big bonus. Here's Whirlpool. We forgot to deal with that one, the 160s. Actually, all of Whirlpool seems kind of broken. There's something wrong with the pricing. Oh, that's where our money went. That's why it went down so much. It's broken. These numbers are wrong. What did Whirlpool do? Did they change something? All the pricing on Whirlpool is wrong. It's all broken, the model. So we'll have to figure that out. Where is Whirlpool now? WHR 142. See, we don't need the model. We know where it is. We have the 120, the 100, 120 spread. Nope, wait a minute. Sorry, forget that. We have the 70-100 spread. We've got some short calls in September, some short calls in June that already expired. They were the 160s. Well, we're not at 160, are we? No, so those expired worthless. So those are fine. These would be 100% gain, like they say they are. These short puts obviously are in no danger whatsoever. These long calls are in the money, right? These short calls are also deeply in the money. This might be right, actually, these numbers. And then we've got these September short calls, but that's wrong. That can't be right because they're the short 120s, and we're going to have to roll those or deal with them. But I got no problem rolling and dealing with them. It's still a net positive for the trade, and we will fix it. We will basically roll these to 7 or 8 or something else. So that's not a worry. So there goes the short-term portfolio, butterfly portfolio, sorry, dividend portfolio. Nobody's paying dividends, but we're only down 10% now. That's pretty damn good. And we sold the short FISA puts. We've got China Telecom. I think pitting on the AT&T of China is a good bet. Energy Transfer finally catching up a little bit. Altria again. We like Altria. Boom. Simon Property, of all things, is making money. Two Harbors making money. And don't forget, we didn't really adjust these until way at the end of the cycle because we were just waiting and waiting. We were hoping it'd come back. It didn't come back. So we got a little more aggressive. But we're only down 10% and we're collecting all these dividends. So we're fine. Ford Motor Company, obviously I like them. We just talked about them today. Macy's, like them also. Signet Jewelers was doing better. Well, no, they're okay. They're fine. They're flattish. Tanger Family Outlet, once again. Factory Outlet, obviously family. And here's the AT&T of America, AT&T. So we like them too. Not complicated, very simple portfolio. Earnings portfolio, this is self-hedging. Self-hedging, it's basically like the long-term, short-term portfolio, right? But it's just instead of having separate hedges, the hedges are right here. We just use these SQQs for the hedges. But here we got ACB, Aurora Cannabis, which I like, and they come back. HBI just got a nice boost. They're doing okay. H&R Block, yeah, it's just not going anywhere. We gave up on these guys. These are going to expire worthless. And we just give up on this. This position will be gone. We'll leave the short puts, but other than that, we don't care. iRobot, how do we get back into that one? It's doing very well, but I mean, it's weird that we got back into iRobot. We used to have it when it's so much cheaper. We got Macy's and we got the hedges on the SQQs. Very simple. Wow, that's very relaxing thing to own. Futures now 50% already on the Futures Now portfolio. We started that one in 12/12. ALB, Plug, Square. This is Alcoa, the old Alcoa split up. Beyond Meats doing well. Everyone's doing well. SunPower, boy, we're good at these two SunPowers because we like them so much. And Total, the oil company that's doing alt energy, which I like. That's easy. Wow, this is a very simple review, huh? This cannot be Hemp Boca. Oh, maybe it is. I'm sorry, it is. This is Hemp Boca. It's up 23%. We killed this portfolio officially. It's not really. It's just what's, that's just where we are with those. It's not different than our future stocks too much. Macy's, MJ, and Molson. Ha, all of them. Long-term, and the last but not least is Money Talk. And Money Talk's up 20%. Don't forget, we're not allowed to touch Money Talk, so we weren't able to take advantage of the dips. So this is just how it rode out the year, basically, because the last time I saw was April. And in April, we were just basically being defensive because we didn't know which way things were going to go in April. We were still in lockdown. I don't think I've been on since then, have I? April, May, June. I don't remember. Was I on in June? I don't really remember anymore. Oh, of course I do. If we were on in June, we would have added something. Here it is, Tesla. Oh, I didn't even know we did that. Oh, man, I forgot. So what did we do with Tesla? We took a put spread. Oh, thank God. Wow. See, very little damage. We took the 1090, 1015 put spread and it didn't work out and we're down $2,000. But that's all we're down, despite Tesla going up insane to $1,500. We're only down $2,000 on the spread. It was not that risky. It could have potentially made 85 times 4. I don't know what that is. Was it an 85, 75, sorry, 75, well, 30,000. So $30,000 and we're only down about $2,000. So that's what I call a good risk reward ratio. If Tesla had gone down, we'd be up $30,000. Tesla didn't go down, we're down 2,000, but this position otherwise doesn't hurt us. There's gold. So now we have Barrick Gold over here. IBM, of course, we love. Macy's, we love. You know the things I love because you see them in every portfolio. Then there's Tanger Family Outlet or Factory Outlet doesn't help. SunPower, once again, because I love them. And Viacom, because I love them. And how many times have I said that, right? That's it. We just reviewed all the portfolios. Oh, wow. But again, it's balanced. We've already eliminated everything we don't like. There's nothing here we don't like. So unless the market gives us a really good reason to sell, I can't sell. I got no excuses. As much as I want to, as much as my body, my bones in my body is screaming, get out of the market. I'm not getting out of the market because we've got protection. We've got fantastic positions, and there's no technical indication that we should be selling right now. I'm sure it's all going to come in one big shot. There'll be something bad will happen. There'll be a 10% drop and another 10% drop, and we'll get screwed. But that's what I think is going to happen. But that's not thinking something's going to happen. Isn't, again, I said I go with my gut, right? I go with my gut, but I don't go with my gut when the logic overrides my gut. If I have to make a split-second decision, if at any moment I have to make a split-second decision, I'd say get out of this crap. But I don't. I got days to think about it. I've told you guys several times, and I know it sounds like maybe a little wishy-washy, but I've said several times, I want to get out of this market because I see things piling up, and I want to get out of the market, but it never triggers. I think if this stimulus is inadequate, if the virus starts spreading faster, things like that, then I want to get out of the market. By the way, we're going to be obviously we're going to be up around 400,000 next week. Okay, we went up 400,000 this week. I mean, 4 million. We went up over 400,000 this week. We're probably going to hit 4 million by next week on Wednesday, unless they're doing a much better job to contain the virus. So I'm not completely freaked out because we're at 3, 5, 4, 5, but then you have to think about why we at 3, 4, 5. We're at 3, 4, 5 because look at this thing go up. We are at 3.5 only because we started doing stuff to go back and reclose. Talk about reopening, we're reclosing now. Had we not done that, it would have been much worse. But That's okay, because reacting to the virus is almost like an antibody learning, right? We have a state antibody, and the state antibody has learned how to react to the virus to some extent, as opposed to ignoring it and letting it spread rampantly. So we're learning a little bit. Despite our president, we are managing to learn what we need to do to prevent people from getting this disease. You know, will we put it into practice? Will it be adequately funded? Will our resolve hold? Those are all questions that are hard to answer. But on the whole, yes, we are learning a little bit. All right, so that's where we are. And let's see if we have any questions. My voice, as you can tell, is not the best, so I'm going to keep rambling for nothing. Let's see. Byrne says, see, China Mobile, are they in jeopardy of being delisted? Why would China Mobile be delisted? Where is this coming from? You can't just say stuff like that. For what reason would they be delisted? Because they're a Chinese stock? SK says, what does the Hemp Boca portfolio attempt to do? The Hemp Boca portfolio, there was a show, the Hemp Boca show. It's a CBD company we own. PSW Investments owns 40% of this company. Hemp Boca. I'll do a commercial. When was I born? I was born, I don't care when I was born in the year 4. Here we go. Something up. He doesn't care. What's it? It's so pointless. My kids used to have, see, this is the problem with those kind of things. My kids used to be really scared to put the wrong age, but they knew they wouldn't get into the site, and they would ask me, like, Dad, I don't know, what can I say? It's like, they're asking my age, could you get on? And I'd be like, no, go ahead, put it, make up a date. Come on, it doesn't matter. So they learn it doesn't matter. And now they don't, you know, nothing like that's going to stop my children. They're never going to bother with something that says you have to be a certain age. But that's a problem. When you enforce dopey laws, it causes you to break real laws. So where are we? This is the number one product, Balanced Board Anointing. What did Emerald Magazine say? Anyway, I recommend this, hempboca.com. I'm going to put it in your thing. The products are excellent. I super recommend the gummies. I super recommend because I take them all the time myself. They're really good. Is that a thing? Is that going to come out somewhere? No, it isn't. Oh, send it all. There you go. Oh, they have dog stuff, but I forget the dog. My mom was giving her dog that stuff. But I have nerve damage in my leg, and I take these gummies, the Hemp Boca gummies, not the Balanced Board gummies. But I take them, and Hemp Boca, because they have a little bit of THC in it, or it's really undetectable. These guys, piggies. So I take these things, and it actually is the only thing that's ever helped stop my nerve pain in my leg. I've had it for 7 years, and this stops it. I mean, really stops it. Like it does not bother me as long as I take these things every day. So well worth it. It's really good for any kind of nerve issues, that kind of stuff. You can also take these drops also, they work too. I prefer to have the gummy every day, because at least I remember to do it. But anyway, so what was I saying about that? Oh, so Hemp Boca used to have a radio show. They don't have it anymore because of the virus. It sort of stopped. But oh, there's me. That's what's his face? Kevin Harrington. He's the guy who does the As Seen on TV and all that stuff. So this is Gene and Chris. These are the two partners of Hemp Boca. And there's me. I'm wearing a Hemp Boca shirt too. And then there's Kevin. He's kind of short. And it's really, there's a huge difference in the quality of CBD goods, and these are actually the best quality you can possibly buy. And unfortunately, you know, with the virus and all, we've delayed a lot of the marketing rollouts and things we're supposed to do have gotten delayed, but it's going to be a huge business. I think it's doing very well. They have a lot of contacts right now. We're working with Ultimate Fighting. Let's see if we can say Hemp Boca up. Hemp Boca Ultimate Fighting. No, missing Ultimate Fighting. Oh, well, I know we're doing some sponsoring with the Ultimate Fighting people. I don't know how you, oh, UFC, I can say UFC, then people will know what it was. Well, I bet Google knows it's the same thing, UFC. See, it says hempboca.com where it's MMA, Hemp Boca. So, but anyway, there's a shirt. This is a podcast with the Ultimate Fighting People. But anyway, so there you go. So that's what the Hemp Boca portfolio was. It was basically stocks, and that's the reason that it's Molson's and the marijuana ETF and Macy's. We only picked a couple of stocks. I did it on the radio every week, but then the show stopped, so we stopped doing it. So and at this point, those picks are superfluous with the other portfolios, so we stopped doing it. So this portfolio is technically closed. I just never bothered shutting it down. So it's just kind of a curiosity thing to see what's going on with these positions. But as you can see, in March, I picked one, another one in March, I picked another one here, and that was basically it. And then the show stopped. So, so that was the end of that. The virus just finally nailed the show shut. But it was no different than Money Talk. Money Talk are picks I do on the Money Talk show on Bloomberg in Canada. So like once every couple of months, I go on this show and we make portfolio picks. But the problem is I can't trade when I'm not on the show. So a lot of stuff that we could take advantage of kind of falls by the wayside. So I try to pick things that are very no-touch kind of positions. You know, if I never know when I'm going to be around to make that adjustment. All right, well, before I lose my voice entirely, all right, somebody else has a position. Another question, the virtual portfolio size and my portfolio size is different. How should I adjust the trades? By size. How should I adjust the trades? If you have 10% of that money, do 10%. But if you have a lot less money, you should really try to avoid the more expensive trades also. It's like, you know, you don't want to get into a $200 stock if you have a $10,000 portfolio. So, you know, we're doing this with 100,000. You know, we started with 100,000 in the short-term portfolio and 500,000 in the long-term portfolio. So if you're starting with 60,000 instead of 600,000, you should do everything 1/10 the size. But if you're doing things 1/10 the size, you can get really nailed by large positions. So you should avoid those. And if you have to avoid those and you're not sure what to do, just say, hey, Phil, you know, in the chat room, just say, Phil, I don't know that this is right for my portfolio. Do you have a better idea? Do we have an example? Yeah. Apple, too dangerous for us. If you only have 10,000 bucks, you shouldn't be trading Apple for 160. If you have CMG, out of the question with $1,000, right? You only have 10,000 bucks. Tesla, most of these are not appropriate for that position. Now, also I'll point out though, Apple didn't make that much. CMG is losing a ton of money and Tesla's losing a ton of money. So you would be actually outperforming the short-term portfolio by a mile if you had stayed away from the things you shouldn't be playing with. How's that for a good example? That's why you don't play with that stuff. You can't afford to lose it. We can, you know, and it's not just, by the way, it's not just that we started with more money. It's that we made a ton of money and then we gambled it. Make your money first before you gamble. Don't gamble to make money. It's a big difference, big difference. And that is why it says at the top of our page, high finance for real people. Oh, well, it doesn't say be the house, not the gambler. Now I'm pissed. All right, it should say that. Be the house, not the gambler. That is kind of our motto. I don't know why it's not up there. It says high finance for real people. I like that too, but that's kind of weird. I realized it doesn't say be the house anywhere on this page. Well, something to talk about with the marketing people, I guess. All right, so what else? That's it. Okay, fantastic. See what the markets are doing. If anything exciting is happening, probably should have shorted oil at 41. Charts, nope. Haha. Still over 41. If it crosses below 41, and these guys, well, these guys aren't going to be below 42.50. So obviously these have to stay below 44. This crosses below 41. I would give that kind of a ride. You got to watch the dollar though to see what the dollar is doing, because if the dollar's weak, it's going to boost oil further. Everybody else is fine. The indexes are fine. Nothing exciting happening. And that's it. I'm out of words. My voice is going quickly. So hopefully it's just a real cold, not COVID. If so, I'll see you guys next week. All right. So take care, everybody. Have a good week. I'll talk to you later.